Stage 1 of the tour starts in the quaint town of Nobby, where you can step back in time and visit Rudd's Pub, the home of Dad and Dave. Rudd's Pub is situated 35 kilometres from Toowoomba and only 2 hours from Brisbane. Immerse yourself in the wonderful photographic collection of memorabilia that adorns the walls and the ceiling, and enjoy a delicious meal and a cold ale. Well, as you can see, the weather's starting to close in, and it is predicted to have a lot of rain towards the end of this first stage, which is probably the most difficult first stage they've had at the Tour of Toowoomba. It's 153 kilometres, very lumpy, and there are 167 riders in the field, so it could get quite tricky out on the course and quite slippery as well.
A lot of these tours you do tend to see like an early break just slip away, and people think it's the first day and everyone's fresh, but we never see it again, and that decides the GC.
The big team's rivalry over the last couple of seasons has been between Avanti Racing and Budget Forklifts, and with Avanti's man Patrick Bevan not on the start line due to illness, and it really does open up some opportunities for other riders, but for sure this will certainly be a battle between those two teams.
Budget obviously are always vying for positions against us, so that'll continue, but we're pretty confident in the team we've got and we've brought here that we can get the job done.
I think it's 7 rider teams here and we've got 4 guys, so we'll be quite happy to sort of be quite conservative today. You know, it's a long tour and a really hard tour.
Well, as expected, it was a nervous and fast start. Lots of attacks right from the gun, but the pace of the peloton was so high that none of those attacks were able to stick and go away.
Guys haven't raced in 8 weeks, so they're all chomping at the bit to go in the first 20k, and then the last 100k you can't get anyone to pull a turn. It's normal for this style of racing.
As they came into the first of the intermediate sprints, at 29 kilometres to go, there was a nasty crash in the main field. Jaden Koch was first across the line, picking up the 3 points in front of Oliver Martin. At the second intermediate sprint, it was Michael Schweizer this time getting the money in front of Oliver Martin, once again in second place. And that was enough at this point of the race for him to be in the lead of the sprint competition. There were a lot more smaller attacks that went and came back until the 88 kilometre mark when Jack Anderson from Budget Forklifts went on the attack. It was quickly covered by Pat Shaw from Avanti Racing, and CharterMason put their man Dan Fitter out in front as well.
We just made sure we marked, the guys that, are quite strong. We didn't try and waste too much energy because we can't afford to.
The 3 leaders stretching the gap out to 2 minutes, that caused a big reaction back in the main field, and as they came into the feed zone, they had a slender lead that was brought down to 20 seconds to 22 riders that were hot on their heels.
So eventually 25 guys got away off the front, and there was all the teams were very hesitant to do a lot of the work. A lot of the teams were sitting up, small little attacks were going, so Schweizer then did a big flying attack from 12k to go and got a pretty big gap away, and then I thought, oh, that looks pretty dangerous, I need to be up in there, so I went off.
Well, Dan Fitter, who'd been in all the moves for the entire stage, went on the march again, trying to get across to Schweizer, and then Jack Anderson bridged up to Fitter, and they had a tough chase ahead of them to try and bring back the strong German.
I just kept going, was 15k to go, and I already had 3 second places this year so far. So I'm a bit over the second place, and I thought I could go for the stage 2. And I saw the other 2 guys coming from behind, closing in.
Yeah, I sort of knew it was going to be a headwind and an uphill drag into the finish, so I thought if we can just keep chipping away, he just will slow because, he was going so hard out there. I thought there's no way he can hold that into this headwind on an uphill drag.
We just worked as hard as we could from there, caught Schweizer, and then that was at about 2k to go, and then we just kind of had to cat and mouse to the finish, and I was just too buckled by then at the end.
Sprint is so different after 150k of racing, and hard racing, so you can be the best sprinter in the world, but if you're tired after that amount of time, it's just all about the legs.
As the sprint started, Jack Anderson had too much strength and came past these 2 breakaway companions to pick up the stage victory. We spoke to you this morning, so we spoke to the right person. Come out with the win.
Yeah, in hindsight you did, didn't you? I didn't think so at the start of the day. To do it the way we did it, like riding all day, and I was in the moves all day, and that's always rewarding for me. That's what sport is about, The guys that ride the hardest, get across the line first. So it's nice. It's nice to be on the podium again for the first time in a while.
After stage 1 of the Subaru National Road Series Tour of Toowoomba, it's Jack Anderson in the overall race lead ahead of Michael Schweizer and Daniel Fitter, all on the same time. And Jack Bobridge in 4th place is 36 seconds behind, bringing up the rest.
I was confident I could beat them and win the stage still, but yeah, didn't work out quite well and I came second again.